Cave where we can hide. Gonna find a cave where we can hide. Everything we crave will be inside. Everything we crave will be inside. Me and you, and lots of goodies there. If I want, I can pull you by your hair. Whip, 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 whip. Gonna find a cave.
Well, there we go. This is it. Get ready. We're going to start the show. Well, hi there, everybody, and this is your pal, Herb the Wizard. And I'm here to welcome you to this, our 77th episode of the Grubby Cup Show. This week, we got a Max Yield show, and we have some interviews with some nice people and all kinds of stuff. So make sure to keep listening, and we're going to get ready to start the show here in just a minute. And now it's time to listen to a little bit of the wonderful and delightful Kelly Erickson, currently playing with Teaser.
You got some seeds to grow, he'll keep you in the know. Variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's the man to know. He'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name. He's the man who'll make a change.
Hello there, gentle listeners. This is your roving bard, Leaf Malone, reporting on the Grow with Grubby Cup show, brought to you by DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. And here they are, the buds of the circle table. Oh, see, it is I, Sancho Banza. Good evening. I'm Alfred the Dungeon Keeper. Hi there, friends. This is the Irreverent Joe. And I'm Herb the Wizard. Psst, it's me, Vinny the Viper, the Sheriff of Riding Puck. And I am your host, the Green Knight, Grubby Cup Stash. Thank you for joining us here on the Grow with Grubby Cup show. Brought to you by the good folks over at DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. All right, let's start with the upcoming hydroponic shop events. On 9/12 in Maine, the Urban Garden Center in Topsham will be having their Customer Appreciation Day. On 9/26 in California, the Soil King will be having their annual Tomato Fiesta. And here's Dawn with Maxim Yield Magazine with a couple of words about the upcoming show in Boston, Massachusetts. Hi, and I'm here with Don with Maxim Yield Magazine.
Hey, Grubby, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Always great to see you, sir. And the upcoming event of choice is?
Well, of course, we've got the new expo that's coming up in Boston, which will be in October. And we just came off a great show in L.A. Lots of really happy vendors. And, we had a lot of stores out, and the public day was awesome as well. So, it'll be our second year back in Boston. And traditionally what we find is when your first year, you're always kind of building the show, and then once you get to the second year, again, it even continues to grow more. So really excited about Boston. It's a great area. For anyone that hasn't been there before, lots to do, not just with the show, but just going there and having a great time.
And for anyone who hasn't been to one of the trade shows before, what can they expect? What's the experience like, and why would somebody go?
Well, it's one of those things where, first of all, if you're a store, we have two different types of days, right? So we have our industry day, which is on the Saturday, and that goes from 12 until 6 o'clock, and you have to qualify to be able to go to that, right? You have to be someone that actually either owns a store or works in a store. That's a different day, and they get to talk to our vendors and understand what's going on. And then on the Sunday, it's the public day, and the public goes from 12 until 5, and they get to walk around the show and talk to experts in nutrients, in lighting, in any type of grow medium that you can think of. And the list goes on, as you well know. And so the guys that are in these in our shows, they're experts in their fields. And if you want to learn, like learning from Grubby, it's a great place to do it. So we really encourage the public to come on out on the Sunday. Again, it'll be from 12 to 5. You can download tickets for free on our website at indoorgardeningexpo.com. If you come to the door and you don't have a ticket, we're going to hit you up for $10 because we got to pay the bills, But yeah, all they got to do is go to our website, indoorgardeningexpo.com, and you'll see it there. It's the Boston show, and come on out and see us. It'd be great.
Well, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy day.
All right, thanks, Grubby. Great. Thanks for everything.
Well, hey, speaking of the Max Yield Indoor Garden Expo, we were there just this last weekend. It was down in L.A., and we got to talk to some cool folks. And in fact, I think we have some clips from that. Hey, Sancho, cue up those clips. This first one is with Mr. Kyle Cushman and his Vegan Matrix line. Kyle Cushman is known in several circles. Oh, look, Grubby. Look.
Cultivation that gives you 0%. Let me try that again. The really cool thing about veganics is the only form of organic cultivation that gives you 0% chance of any cross-contamination of any pathogens. As the earth gets dirtier, organics is wonderful, but all the poop and the blood meal and bone meal is now loaded with steroids and antibiotics and traces of all of these really bad things. So I believe that the evolution of organic horticulture is veganic horticulture.
Well, very cool. And obviously, Vegan Matrix is veganic.
Absolutely, 100% veganic. It's easy to use, and it's also powerful because we've included all the necessary naturally mined minerals so that it is strong and you can get a high yield. It's not just 100% plant-based. We're 95% or above in all of our ingredients. And, I think we've hit on the next biggest thing.
And what makes something veganic or not veganic? How do you differentiate between the two?
Veganic is vegan organic. So vegan meaning there's no animal products allowed, and organic is organic. So you have to start with everything organic, but we remove all animal products. So we're primarily plant-based, plant and mineral. We use a lot of seaweed and primarily digested and fermented soy and grain solubles, which are all non-GMO. We're in the process of earning our non-GMO label as well. And so it's really feeding plants, just like a forest feeds itself through decomposition.
Well, that makes sense. And this has been Kyle Cushman with Vegan Matrix. And any parting words?
Thanks, Grubby Cup.
Absolutely. Talk to you next time. Hey, look, Grubby. Look. It's the ProMix booth. Hi, and I'm here with Scott from ProMix.
Hey, Mr. Grubby Cup.
Okay, so what is ProMix and why is it cool?
So ProMix is our brand of soils. The parent company is Premier Tech. We're based in Canada, and we have a number of soils. The nice thing about ProMix is that they have value-added products with nice inoculants, biofungicide, mycorrhizae. I got a little.
What's the base? What gives it its structure, etc.?
So the BX is an 80-20 mix of peat to perlite. It's our first brand. It's the one that started it all. It's got mycorrhizae added to it. We make our own mycorrhizae. We're one of the few companies that does this. Very high spore count. And the mycorrhizae, it forms a relationship with the roots, bigger roots, and makes your plants more resistant to stress and diseases.
And I see you've got BX, CC, and MP. What is the difference? Which bag is for which application?
Yeah, so we have basically, we have a few variations. The BX is the 80-20 peat to perlite. It's a little heavier. The HP is more 70-30, HP meaning high porosity. And this HPCC is about 10% or so perlite, and we replaced a lot of the perlite with chunk cocoa. And this is great for water retention and savings on water. It's a chunk cocoa, and it's a very clean product. And the MP is our organic product. It's similar to the HPCC. The biggest difference is we use a yucca as a wetting agent.
Well, very cool. Any parting words before I take off?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you we have this new product. It's pure mycorrhizae, and we just launched this product. We've been developing it for many, many years. And what's nice about this product is it's a spore. It's got very high spore count. It's OMRI certified. A lot of mycorrhizae products out there, they have propagules listed on them. And propagules is a mixture of basically what they do is they inoculate the root zone of plants, oftentimes onions or leeks. They chop up the roots so you get a mixture of dead roots, some hyphae, and some spores. And you're not really sure, how many are viable. These are guaranteed viable spores. We're the only company that's really making our own spores in a contaminant-free environment. Super high spore count, and it's at an amazing price. And we didn't add anything else to it. It's just straight mycorrhizae.
And I see that it comes in a granular or in a powder. What should I use when, or what's the difference?
Yes. So the powder is more intended for like rapid rooters, rock wool, aeroponic clones. You just roll your roots in once you've established them. And the granular is more to be mixed with soil, cocoa, your standard media. So you can certainly mix it with our products if they have mycorrhizae as well for an extra kick. But it's a great product, and just mix it with any medium. And you're going to see it's an inexpensive way to boost your yield significantly and make your plants stronger and more resistant to pests and disease.
Well, thank you very much. And once again, this has been Scott with ProMix.
Thank you, Grubby Cop.
You look, Grubby Cop. It appears that Eric from Garden Culture is over there. Hi, and I'm here with Eric from Garden Culture Magazine.
How you doing, Grub?
And what is cool about Garden Culture Magazine, and why should people check it out?
Yeah, I've been in the industry for about 14 years, a sales rep, working on doing just about everything, and decided to make a magazine. So it's truly a magazine made by growers and people in the industry, for people in the industry. And we have a lot of fun doing it. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and we cover a lot of the political issues. I think that are really important, and dealing with food and the government and how they're fucking everybody. And I think we got great articles and stuff that's going to make people better growers.
And if somebody wanted to get a hold of a copy or to read a copy of it, how would they go about that?
Online, all copies are available for free at www.gardenculturemagazine.com. You can see all of them, and if you want to see the latest edition in paper, go to your local store, or if you're a local store, call Sunlight or Hydrofarm, and they'd be happy to send you a box.
And once again, that's Eric with Garden Culture Magazine.
Thank you, Grubby.
Thanks. Wait, you Grubby, take a look over there. Look. It's paint. I don't think I've ever seen paint at a garden show before. We gotta go check this out. That must be some special kind of paint or something. Hi, and I'm here with
Matt Hellum.
And you're with
Stocorp.
And what cool product do you have for us today?
We've got an interior flat acrylic paint called Climason. It's basically photoreactive, and what that means is you put this on the inside of your indoor gardening facility, and it will break down odors and VOCs. The byproduct will be carbon dioxide and oxygen. It is also very mold and mildew resistant. Great coverage, great hide, and great scrubbability. New into the gardening industry, but we've been around since 1835 making construction and construction-related products.
And it's white, correct? So it's reflective as well.
Correct, flat white.
So you could use that as a substitute for one of the polyfilms or one of the other reflective coverings.
Exactly, and what you're going to end up with is this coating on a wall is going to reduce your hot spots too that you typically get with those sort of coverings.
And about how long between applications how long does it last?
This product will last indefinitely. As long as there's light exposure, it uses an energy exchange as opposed to an absorbing medium. So the way it destroys odors is there's an energy exchange between the coating and the odor, and it breaks that compound down into the CO2 and the moisture. So you don't You're not going to run into a situation where some of the other paints in this arena have baking soda and formaldehyde in them. When they get saturated to a certain level, you have to repaint like every 6 months. This product will last indefinitely. As long as light's hitting it, it'll do its thing. It should lengthen the life of your filters, save your equipment, give you a little more growth cycles per change out.
And once again, that was Stow Coat, correct?
It's Climason by Stow Company, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now for a few words from our sponsors. The Grow with Grubby Cup show is brought to you in part by...
Does your garden need protection?
Hey, Dr. Duffman here. Everybody knows your plant and your gardens get lonely. That's why I got the Grubby Cup Garden Gnome. It says 15 different creepy things in your garden that are actually garden for, for the garden, but they're creepy. So go ahead and put it in your garden and make your plants not lonely. Because Grubby Cup, not only does it say stuff, it makes bad odor in there too, so that it hides any kind of odor that you may have in your garden. It's an odor control garden gnome that says creepy things.
It's carbon-based.
It's carbon-based. It leaves a footprint.
Odors.
It's awesome.
It's like Mitch's Hula Perfect Planters has got nanotechnology on it.
Its nose drips Ona gel.
Aliens use
to keep your room smelling like Ona.
I think that would be the Horty Chris gnome that has a drippy nose.
It's the craziest gnome around. Break yours open.
You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on DFZRadio.com.
We're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard. And I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays, it's a twofer. You get a Girl in a Garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and that it was compatible with hydro soil and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man. I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
DFZRadio.com. You're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Staff. The DFZ Radio Network at DFZRadio.com. Hello, gentle listeners and all the ships at sea. This is your wandering bard, Leaf Malone. And now it's time for... The Buds of the Circle Table. This week's special guest is Heavy T himself.
Let's bring the one, the only, the myth, the man, the legend, Grubby Cup Stash, host of Growing with Grubby Cup on DFZ Radio. What's up, Grubby?
Hey, guys. Before I forget, you were talking a little bit about doing a brace or for a snap branch.
Right.
One thing that I found that's really helpful with that, too, with small or medium size, is you just take a drinking straw, cut off a section of it, and split it down one side.
Boom. See, I told you, Horty, those straws are meant for drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Those aren't like, yeah.
That's
They're
a
for
great tidbit, Grubby. Now, Grubby, let the listeners know, like, you are not just a fly-by-the-night DFC radio host. You are a well-accomplished writer, gardener, and just a man of multiple talents up in Northern California. Tell us a little bit about your history of gardening.
He's a legend.
Well, it's one of those. I actually grew up on a dairy farm, so I've been around plants all my life.
Nice.
And then at one point, I ran into a plant I had a particular affinity for, and that's how that went.
Yes, it was a very nice consumable plant, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I still do, I have a fondness for, like, black creme tomatoes and Peter peppers, and so, I also do my own vegetable garden in that.
Well, and, you also, like you said, your gardening knowledge spans several different plant species, and on the writing level, you are a great writer for Maximum Yield, for several different other publications, but you also help write specific grow books for our friends like Ed Rosenthal through at Zero Tolerance, George Van Patten, all those, right? These guys are friends of yours.
Yeah, and for instance, there's a Sunlight is coming out with a new little greenhouse product.
Right.
Little cloning bit, and I wrote their instruction booklet for it.
Nice. So you are well accomplished through the last couple of decades.
Of course, my book, Grubby Cup's Garden Notes.
Of course.
Boom.
Of course, your book, Grubby. Of course. But, Grubby.
A High Times bestseller. New York Times bestseller.
Your show is completely fascinating on Tuesdays, dude. It's not like any other growing show. It's not like any other show on DFZ Radio or that I've come across on any radio station, internet, or mainstream terrestrials, satellite. You do some things that are pretty freaking unique. What, in a short statement, what is Growing with Grubby Cup?
Well, it's sort of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood meets Laugh-In with a bit of surrealism. It takes place in the Casa La Mancha, and there are a variety of characters that basically keep it from just being me blabbing on for an hour.
Or me for 4 hours, how we do. Okay, but it's live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, so you can tune in, listeners. Actually, he records it from his house or his studio up there in NorCal, and we stream it live here at 6 o'clock on DFC Radio every Tuesday. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. It's not just a comical bit, though. You take your gardening knowledge and you melt it together with these characters.
What I try to do is not everybody is interested in the chemistry and in the, some of the higher level plant science type activities, but they still need and have a use for that information. So what I try to do is take a difficult concept like Mendelian genetics, which is usually taught with a bunch of, n-1 to the second power type stuff, and show how you can illustrate that using the red and black cards, out of a deck of playing cards. And so that way it makes it much more appropriate or much more approachable without all the math that goes along with it.
Yeah, it's like putting everything into layman's terms.
Yeah.
Which is what we try to do around here as well, because if they were on that scientific level, they probably wouldn't call the show.
Right, and it's one of those. The information is still very valuable, where understanding how traits will appear and disappear and that sort of thing, illustrated with the playing cards, is something everybody can get their head around, and it doesn't take wading through textbooks and the more traditional methods of getting at that information.
And but like you said, the way that your show is presented is almost in a story format. You're telling a story and then adding in the grow information, the grow knowledge that's in your big brain. Grubby's one of those guys, Horty, to me, that has probably forgotten more about gardening than most people in the hydroponic industry will ever know.
Well, again, just listening to a continuous lecture, your attention will naturally start to wander, and that's boring.
Right.
So I try to intersperse, the gardening information and some, other basic useful information.
For the listeners that haven't heard your show, give an idea. Like, will one show be around a topic, like a singular topic, like cloning or blooming or something, and then you'll take a story through with each character? Tell us how the show evolves so listeners know what they're going to be listening to on Tuesdays.
Oh, wait, hang on. Sancho, give me the phone. Holy guys, Sancho Banzai. Can I have a question for my cousin Nacho?
What's your question?
What's your question?
I want to know. First, thank you for the love and creativity. It was thoughtful of you. But why did you send me a piñata full of the beaver anal glands? That is disgusting.
Why did you send him a piñata full of beaver anal glands?
It's flavor. Flavor, amigo. Try it.
Put it in your soup.
You gotta drink it down with the tequila. Don't be a bitch. I put tequila bottles in there.
Yeah, I think next time we get together, you just bring tequila. You leave the food at home.
Whatever. You're just a prude, bitch. I'm gonna have my way with you when I get there.
He goes to personal attacks as soon as he gets out with it.
I'm gonna have my way with you when I get there.
Hey,
but yeah,
that's one character on your show, right?
And kind of do their spin on whatever the topic is.
Now you have a specific character that I crack up at. It's the big dude in the dungeon. What's that dude's name?
Alfred.
Alfred, and he lives in the dungeon.
Yeah, Alfred lives in the dungeon. He's a little on the psychopathic side.
So I want to know: are all these characters that you bring up, are they part of the Grubby Cup psychology? Are they all little parts of yourself, or are they completely just made up out of thin air?
Oh no. They're all, everybody's got a little twisted in them. Everybody's got a little goody two shoe in them. Everybody's a little goofy. So yeah, no, it's probably more a mental health, multiple personality type issue than.
That's all right.
That's what's growing on with Grubby Cup every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, right here on DFZ.
Hey, when it comes to
in the plants, when you take a sharp, clean instrument and you slice the flesh.
Oh my God, Grubby, you're creeping me out now.
Grubby just nutted on himself.
Oh my gosh, I just felt like acid flashbacks right there.
Man, I don't know if I should hang up.
Oh no, don't you hang up. You just stay tuned after a few words from our sponsors. This program is brought to you in part by Grubby Cup's Garden Gnome shirts. Yeah, they said it. I'm going to try to guilt them into doing a couple of Grubby Cup's Garden Gnome shirts. Head on over to the Heavy Tea Show and harass them about it. They said it. I don't think we should hold them to it. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
We're listening to DFCRadio.com.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and it was compatible with hydro soil and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man. I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
DFCRadio.com. You're listening to DFCRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash, and you're listening to us on DFZRadio.com. And now it's time for Buds of the Circle Table.
Hey, what is Grubby Cup's prediction for 2015 in the hydro industry? I've seen some publications coming out. We talked to Jason, the Grow Boss, with his publication. He had some ideas of what's going on with the hydro industry, about contraction, about where it's going in 2015. I didn't agree with everything he was saying. I was saying, I see a lot of expansion, a lot of profitability, even brighter times than what we've seen in the last couple of years. You've been around for a long time, Grubby. I want to get your take. 2015 predictions for the hydro industry.
Well, what I think what we're seeing right now in the industry is kind of the tail end of the strong Indian tribes sort of thing.
Right.
Because right now there's a lot of infighting in the industry. There's a lot of backbiting, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And, the white man's curse is coming. As things get safer for corporate to move into the arena, corporate's going to attempt to move into the arena. And bickering inside the industry, it is pretty much, the guy standing the fight next to you is probably the least of your worries. It's the cavalry coming over the edge with just, a phenomenal amount of backing.
Yeah. So you believe that unless the hydro industry can organize and get their resources together to maintain their market shares, that as things go more mainstream, they're going to be the Home Depots, the Monsantos.
Right, 'cause then you're going to have like Walmart buying directly from manufacturers.
Yeah, well, purchasing power. Someone could buy $500,000 of stuff off Get-Go and put it in there and put it in 400 of their 5,000 stores nationwide.
Hopefully, when Walmart comes knocking on my door, they want to buy like at least $10 million worth, right off the jump street.
Grubby,
right.
To that note, though,
I'm not saying that that's a bad business plan. I'm just saying that I think we're going to see more business plans with that as the end game.
Yeah. Let me ask you, to that note, what you're talking about, don't you think, though, the grow information, the grow knowledge that you receive from a smaller boutique store compared to a Walmart, Home Depot-style store, that they're able to guide you to be more successful? And that's what a lot of growers are looking at. I think a lot of people equate growing certain consumables that are now available freely in the free state of Washington and Colorado and Oregon and Alaska coming up. But
right, but that's why I think it's
like brewing.
Critical to have good staff in a hydroponic store, because
knowledgeable
that's an
staff.
edge. That's a fight you can win.
Yeah.
right? Because your big box stores, etc., by and large, their staff has nowhere near the training available to, say, a boutique shop.
And what about the thing I've seen in several private groups on Facebook, like the Hydro Tank, where people that have been in the industry a long time and stuff point towards the reluctantness of mainstream gardening advisors to give advice on growing certain legal crops now, like cannabis and so forth, that that they're now moving into that. I still think that if these guys weren't growing a certain crop, it becomes a lot harder to advise correctly on growing something like that.
Right, but keep in mind, a lot of those cats operate on the whole risk versus reward thing.
Right.
And the less risk is involved, the less reward that they feel that they need to get out of it to make it worthwhile.
I agree. I agree on that. I look forward to hearing Grubby Cup this Tuesday. What's coming up on the new Grubby Cup episode next week?
We're going to try a few more interviews. Going to try to get out to a couple more hydro shops, that sort of thing, and more gardening hijinks.
Awesome. If you want to contact Grubby Cup, you can email him where?
grubbycup@gmail.com.
Nice. And if you looking to sponsor Grubby Cup Show or want to contact the network, you can go directly through dfcradio.com or contact AJ at dfcradio.com. Grubby Cup, I really love what you're doing. Listeners, you really have to hear an entire show. It's an experience. That's all I can say. It is the Grubby Cup experience. I think that's a new T-shirt Grubby Cup should come out with.
And I think that last Tuesday's show, which was a good show, should be available on the archive, if not today, very shortly.
Awesome. So check out all of the past podcasts from Growing with Grubby Cup right here on dfcradio.com.
Grubby.
And can I get an agreement that you can license your likeness for our Garden Gnome project?
Yeah, except I want to cut.
Hey,
Other than that, I'm all over it.
Dr. Duff will cut you. We'll get Saint to cut you good, real good.
Saint's cutting that part out of the show. All right. Hey, Grubby Cup, I appreciate you, man, and keep doing your thing. We'll be talking real soon.
Absolutely. Great talking to you guys, too.
All right.
Crazy how he just said we could use his stuff.
Oh, Senor Grubby Cup, Senor Grubby, I have a question for you. What is it, Sancho? Well, I was going to do a little bleach tie-dyeing, and I know you've said it before, but I have a question for you. What is it, Sancho? When you are doing the bleach tie-dyeing, what is the ratio of the bleach to the water?
Well, just so everyone knows what we're talking about, you can, in normal tie-dye, what you do is you take your T-shirt and you tie it in a spiral or any number of combinations, and then you apply dye to it. Well, you can also use bleach in a similar pattern, so that it's a very similar process, but instead of adding color, you're subtracting color or you're removing color. And the way that you do this is take your T-shirt, and a black or a very dark colored T-shirt works best. And you can either do it in a spiral, which is very popular. And to do that, just fold the shirt in half, and in the center of the chest, start twisting it around your fingertips until you make a disc with a spiral around it. Or you can do any number of things with rubber bands and that sort of thing to bunch and gather and use similar to tie-dye patterns with. And then what you do is you then soak that, or you expose it to a solution of 1 part bleach to 3 parts water. And you want to watch it carefully. And as the dye in the fabric, as the color starts to dissolve, Then when it gets to the point that you're happy with, then rinse it in cold water to stop the process. And the removed, where the bleach is removed, the dye will then be a pattern. And it can take a little bit of judgment when you're doing it, because after you've painted the solution of 1 part bleach to 3 parts water on the fabric, you want to watch it carefully, because if you rinse it off too soon, what'll happen is the pattern will be very faint. But if you leave it on too long, you can wind up damaging the fibers in the fabric. And so it's one of those, it's a bit of a risk. Don't do it with a t-shirt that you're really that attracted to, and make sure that it's a cotton t-shirt. Cotton dyed t-shirts work the best for this sort of thing. Be careful with it, because, bleach is still bleach. Don't get it on your clothes where you don't want it bleached. Don't get it on your skin undiluted, that sort of thing. When you're going through it, wear gloves to protect yourself, and do it in a well-ventilated area so you don't inhale the bleach fumes. Take all normal safety precautions.
Oh, see, always make sure you are very safe.
For more detailed instructions and to see pictures in that, if you go to grubbycup.com and select the blog, from the menu, there's a blog post listed. If you need to search for it, you can do it under bleach tie-dye or under the fun tab up at the top of the menu.
Oh, see, I see. Thank you, Senor Grubby Cup.
The Grow with Grubby Cup show is brought to you by Enso Guitars in Hope Valley, Rhode Island. What he does. You couldn't ask for a better cat to be working on your next guitar or bass. Grow with Us Hydroponics. If you're in the Rhode Island, Warwick area and you need some hydroponic supplies, stop on by at Grow With Us Hydroponics. Tell them Grubby sent you. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
dfzradio.com.
Botanicare is proud to introduce a revolutionary 3-part nutrient system that is the culmination of over 15 years of research and development. The Kind Plant Nutrient System. Designed by leading plant physiologists, this is the most versatile, effective, yet easy-to-use plant nutrient system ever created. It all starts with Kind Base. Kind Base contains nitrogen and calcium, but no trace minerals, magnesium, or sulfur. By placing those nutrients in the Grow and Bloom formulas, you have greater control over how your plants grow in your medium of choice. Using coco coir or RO water, just add more base to increase calcium levels. Growing in clay pebbles or rock wool, then just reduce the amount of base to ensure the proper calcium level. It's that easy. Kind Grow contains trace minerals and a proprietary blend of all natural ingredients to help maximize root growth, reduce internodal spacing, and create a lush canopy. Kind Bloom was formulated with the optimum phosphorus to potassium ratio. Your plants will have healthy branch and stalk development, accelerated flower set, and increased yields. Kind Bloom also contains magnesium to help improve photosynthetic efficiency, which is critical in accelerated growth environments. To put it more simply, Botanicare's Kind Nutrient System is the only nutrient system that is fully customizable to your kind of plants and medium. Botanicare Kind Base, Grow, and Bloom. Fully customizable. Any plant, any medium. For more information, go to botanicare.com. Botanicare Kind. Make it your kind.
You're listening to DFCRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show on DFZ Radio at DFZRadio.com. And now, sit back and relax because it's time for this week's Moment of Meditation. A few breathing exercises. And in with the good air. And out with the bad air. And in with the good air. And out with the bad air. Relax. Let your worries drift away for a few moments. And just concentrate on the here and now, just for a minute. In with the good air. And out with the bad air. Pay attention to how you feel. Collect yourself. And get ready to go on with the rest of the day. Well, hey there, Grubby Cup. How's the feline audience doing these days? Oh, hey, Herb. Well, we just harvested some catnip buds, and they're all pretty happy feline audience members. Well, that sounds cool, Grubby Cup, because some kitties, they really like catnip, and some kitties don't, but I have a feeling your feline audience likes catnip okay. Yeah, they really do, and catnip, being a member of the mint family, is very easy to grow. Well, gee whiz, Grubby, those are awful pretty. I think you should put a picture of those up on the Grow with Grubby Cup Facebook page. Well, I'll tell you what, Herb, I'll do that. Oh, si, Senor Grubby Cup takes very good care of his kitties. Why, thank you, Sancho. I try to anyway. Speaking of the pets... Speaking of the pets, how is your faithful steed Blaze doing these days? He's doing well, but he keeps cutting across the field and he's wearing a trail through it. Oh, see, Blaze is well known for going through the grass. Well, that wouldn't be so bad, but he cuts through the flower garden too, and he's in such a rush he knocks over some of the plants. Oh, see, Blaze goes through the flowers very fast. He knocked over the jar with the bacon grease, too. It fell on the floor and broke. Oh, see, he shattered and oil went everywhere, even on the nail in the floor. Yeah, that was quite the mess. See, but more fun than you might think. Herb came by and helped. Yeah, I bet he did. Hey, Grubby Cup. What'd the apple say to the banana? I don't know, Herb. What'd the apple say to the banana? Well, gee whiz, Grubby, I don't know. That's why I asked you. Ew, Grubby Cup. You told me to remind you not to forget to remind me about shaking up my nutrients before I use them. Yes, pretty much, unless on the bottle it specifically tells you not to. In general, you want to give your nutrients a little shake before you measure them out and add them to your nutrient solution. I do so enjoy giving things a nice little shake now and then. The reason for this is that the nutrient solutions themselves are not always stable as solutions.
which is not necessarily a bad thing because you're going to want the nutrients back out of the water, but it can allow things that are supposed to be suspended in the liquid to precipitate out and gather at the bottom. And if you just give them a little shake, then that can help make sure that everything is stirred up inside, and it also helps keep the solution closer to what it says it is in the bottle. Because if things, start to separate, and that what you can wind up with are, a few capfuls that are weaker than usual and wind up with a more potent mixture at the bottom due to its settling. And that's not what you want, because then if you follow the instructions, you'll underfeed them at first and then overfeed them. And in general, just for consistency's sake in that, you're best off just, giving your bottles a little shake before you measure them out. Oh, I see. So you just wrap your hands around the bottle, squeeze ever so gently so as not to allow it to escape, and give it a few quick shakes. Yeah, Alfred, they're right. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, all right, what are we going to talk about today? Well, today we're going to talk about arranging a wide palette on a snack tray.
I, the Sheriff of Ridingbook, stop in the name of the king.
Well, at least you waited until after the moment of meditation was over this time.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been running a little late all day.
So what brings you to the Castle La Mancha today?
Well, I wanted to show off the cool t-shirt I made using the instructions earlier in the program. Didn't it come out nice?
Why, yes, I think that came out very nice. It looks like you wet the fabric and then tied it into some interesting combination of shapes and twisted it around, and then soaked it in a mixture of 1 cup bleach to 3 cups of water until it started to change color, and then rinsed it out well with cold water and untied it and rinsed it out some more, and came up with a very nice little t-shirt.
Yes, I'm quite proud of it myself. And now I'm off to spread misery everywhere.
No, what were we talking about before we got here?
Snacks, Grubby. What kinds of snacks for a diverse palate?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, for instance, if you're setting out dishes for a safety meeting, then some things that you might want to consider are having opposites, whether or not they're actually opposites, but having a variety of flavors. So, for instance, something salty, something sweet, maybe something sour.
Ooh, that sounds good, Grubby, because I know sometimes when I'm at the safety meeting, in between the reading of the chemical worksheets and that, sometimes I like something a little sweet, and then when I'm eating something sweet, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, you know what, something salty tastes good, and then I'll have something salty, and then when I'm having something salty, I'll go, ooh, you know what, something sweet sounds good, and then I'll want something sweet again. And, that really can make for a nice little variety. And besides, it gives you something to do besides just listen to them talk about all the safety rules at the safety meeting.
That's right. And another way you can introduce diversity is through a variety of textures. So you may have something creamy or something chewy or something crunchy. And again, that will give the foods a distinct mouthfeel to them, And again, that will add some variety to the, to the offerings. Well, that sounds good too, because sometimes I like things that are really crunchy, but then you sit there for too long going crunch, 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 crunch. And I don't know about you, but my old jaw gets tired, so sometimes it's nice to have a little variety. So sometimes it's crunchy and goes crunch, 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 crunch. And then the other time it's a little squishy or, that's just feel different. And then if you really concentrate, you can think about how it feels in your mouth and how it tastes in your mouth, and you can feel and really get into the experience, and you'll baby. That's right. And don't go too overboard. You do want to find flavors that complement each other. I wouldn't serve orange juice and chocolate cake together, for example. Oh, no, Grubby, I've seen you eat some pretty strange food combinations. I wouldn't put money on that one. But maybe something like brownies and chili peanuts. Something where the flavors of one can be contrasted with flavors of another without causing too big of a train wreck. Well, gee, Grubby, that's at least something to consider, I guess. And whenever you're going to do something where there's a variety of flavors and that involved, you want to do very small taste size portions. That way folks can have a chance to try a little bit of everything without getting too overwhelmed or eating to excess. Here's your safety tip, folks. Don't get in front of Grubby in your buffet line. Hey.
Well, hi there. This is Herb the Wizard, and I just wanted to remind everybody that the Castle of Mancha is an entirely fictitious place. That means it doesn't really exist, and that the characters portrayed as the buds of the circle table, they're just made up too. So nobody should take anything all that seriously. Hi there, friends. Hi there, each and every one of you. This is the Reverend Job, and I'm here. I am here today. I am here today to tell you that I think the world would be a better place if there was a little more empathy and a little less greed. I think these days, empathy is underrated. And for those of you that are confused, for those of you that tend to sit way in the back, let me tell you that empathy is just trying to understand how someone else feels. Now, you would think that since each and every one of us has feelings, that we could find it easy to understand that other people have feelings too. But I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to tell particularly those of you in the back, that sometimes people act like they don't understand that. Sometimes people act like they don't understand that other human beings are humans too. This has been a serum from the Irreverend Job, and I want to remind each and every one of you that at each and every opportunity, try not to be an asshole. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Grubby Cup Stash, your host of the Grow with Grubby Cup show on DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. Until next week, peace, love, and puka shells.
You got some seeds to grow, he'll keep you in the know. Variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's the man to know. He'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name. He's the man who'll make a change.
Wow, you listen to the whole show, and you even listen to the very end of the theme song and everything. You must be very proud of yourself. You should be. I'm very proud of you. And I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the Grubby Cup Show, because if it wasn't for fine folks like you, we wouldn't have a Grubby Cup Show. Anyway, until next time, this is your Flower of the Wizard saying bye-bye.
You're listening to DFCRadio.com.